Supplier certification program instead of Walmart.
Hello, everyone.
And there now. Okay, bye.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Mark Allen. Welcome to Live Talk. Sorry if I don't know what happened in the beginning there, but this is Live Talk. My name is Mark Allen. I'm the Vice President of Corporate Development and External Relations here at USPAACC. Before we begin our live talk, I want to personally invite all of you to our 40th celebration Business Plus Procurement Conference happening this June 2 through 5, 2025 in Oxon Hill, Maryland at the MGM's National Harbor. Just so you know, Celebration is the largest and longest running business development conference convened by Pan-Asian Americans in the United States. Join us in celebrating 40 years of empowering Pan-Asian American businesses and fostering economic growth. Register at the link provided by the team in the chat. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Ming Chen. Ming is an experienced logistic professional and the owner of global freight forwarding company MSL Global Express. Her passion is helping clients expand into global markets by simplifying their shipping needs. Holding a master's degree in accounting from St. John's University, she has built her career step by step in the 36-year-old company. Excited to share her expertise and connect with others collaboratively, here is Ming Chen. Ming?
Hello. Welcome to USPAACC Live Talk. Hi, thank you, Mark, for a warm introduction. My name is Ming Chen. I am the president and CEO of MSL Global Express. We are an international freight forwarding company in New York City for the last 35 years. And we help companies who want to buy or sell their products on a global market without worry about how to ship them. But today, I'm introducing you a strategic leader of senior manager of Walmart, Greg Jenkins. He is making sure everybody grab a seat at the table. Over the last 12 years, Greg has been worn a lot of different hats, from produce replenishment to direct imports for Walmart International, for supporting private brands of Walmart, and now to championing the supplier diversity program. And let me tell you this, he does not only adding the new suppliers, but diversifying us in a big way. He develops strategy, he helps companies to provide their brands, and he is providing the data changing insights. And also, he is not only a leader for a particular group, he has been a passionate advocate for Asian American, of course, for Native American, for Pacific Islander, for Native Hawaiian, for Native Alaskan. He's making sure our products, our services find our pathway into Walmart's ecosystem. So without further ado, please join me to welcome a senior manager, a real leader of innovation and inclusion. Greg, all yours.
Thank you, Ming. I appreciate that, and really want to thank USPAACC for allowing me this opportunity to talk to everyone today. And you know, in addition to what Ming just referred to with my experiences, my responsibilities, the other one that I lead as a project is the certification support program here at Walmart, and that is something we can talk about a little bit more in depth and detail as we go along. But it is a partnership that we have developed with several agencies to help suppliers get their diverse certification, you know, paid for, with at least for the first year. So I'll go into more detail on that as I share my screen here, and I want to talk about the program and just introduce it to you. All right, so this is the document that you'll get some other documents after this is over, but you will receive a copy of this as well. And it really just talks about all the requirements of our certification support program. As you can see, we've partnered with several of the national agencies for the different diverse certifications that you can obtain, including through USPAACC. So, you know, it's a very simple program. We've tried to make it as simple as possible with the working in partnership with the agencies, so that it's not, you know, any type of high hurdles that you have to jump to get into or through. So it's very easy getting started. You know, to request a referral, we have a supplier inclusion at walmart.com email box. We do ask that you put in the subject line certification support request, because we get lots of emails come into that. So it definitely helps me and my other team members to locate those emails very quickly and get you to the right agencies. Also kind of need to know which one of these agencies that you would want to go through. I assume most people in here are going to request USPAACC. So, but still, if you send an email, I won't know that you attended this session necessarily. So I need to understand which agency you are wanting to be referred to. And so as soon as I get that, there's different processes for each agency. But I will connect you through the appropriate pathway based off of which one you select, and then that agency will take over from there and start the process of getting you certified. And they'll make sure, I think, on the front end that you basically meet minimum qualifications as well for their qualifications. So just to kind of go through who qualifies, how do you get there? It's very simple. Qualification for application. So for existing marketplace or prospective diverse owned suppliers of Walmart, Sam's Club, and really, you don't have to be a supplier to Walmart or on marketplace. Really, you just need to have the ability to serve at some point in the future. we're opening this up not just for Walmart, but for anybody. And, that may open up doors into other retailers, and that's fine. We just want to, try to get people certified however we can. But we do ask that you are certifying for the first time. We're not going to do renewals, but if you have had a lapse of your certification of 2 years or more, then we'll consider that kind of a first time and go ahead and let you qualify for that. The reimbursement or payment is also subject to the terms and conditions of the sponsored certification agency. So you do have to meet their thresholds as well. Exclusions would be that we will sponsor the certification only for the initial term. So again, not for renewals. And then we will pay for one certification, not multiple certifications. But if you happen to be certified with one agency and would like to get dual certification and get another certification, then we will pay for that one additional certification if you've already certified on your own for that first certification. So, and again, with this program, certification is completely voluntary. You have to decide if certification is the best path for you as a supplier and your strategy. That's not something that we are going to give advice on, because we're not in the habit of getting into other businesses' strategies and what works for them. So that's an individual consideration. And then, certification or non-certification will have no impact on future or current business with Walmart or Sam's Club. And again, you select which agency suits you best. Trying to do two things at once. I'm seeing questions pop up. I know you guys are getting, yeah. So you, and I've had that question asked to me before as to which agency would be best. If, say, you're a veteran and you're female, you're a veteran and you're a minority, like, how do I decide which one is which? And we just have to say, hey, you're really going to have to do your homework and do the research, maybe contact those agencies, and understand what type of programs are offered, what type of support is offered, and figure out which one works best for you. Because again, we won't get into that and provide recommendations. And then we won't have any influence on whether or not you get certified or not. You're going to have to, meet the agency's requirements and certifications. So yeah, I think that kind of covers the program.
Fantastic, Greg, for breaking into small pieces so that we can understand the program better. And for those who leave the chat that you cannot see the program clearly, we will email you a copy for all the information we share today. USPAACC team will share with your email so that you can check on the details. And also, before we dive into the next session, I just want to remind each one of you that USPAACC, among all these groups, just like Greg was mentioning, we got to do our homework to find which one fits us the best. And right now, USPAACC is actually partnered with Walmart and also Sam's Club to offer a new free certification program for diverse-owned business. This is particularly for sectors like retail, manufacturing, consumer goods, health, wellness, apparel and fashion, education, publishing, of course, food and beverage. So if you qualify, you can always feel free to either contact Kevin or Devin at USPAACC. They will be more than happy to help you. And usually, yes.
Oh, sorry, I was going to jump in real quick. I saw a question about NMSDC pop up, and yeah, I apologize. That document is with our comms team to be updated, and NMSDC is one of the agencies that is partnered with us as well.
Okay.
It's just the legal stuff took a little bit longer to clear. So, but I have that getting updated. So anyway, that is also one that will be updated.
Yeah, thank you for adding it on. I think Philip can also make it in the note later today. And also, before we jump in, I guess Philip wants to take a group photo so that when everybody is still fresh, so that so if you don't mind, please turn on your camera so that we will have a group photo for now.
Yes, thank you. And before quickly we go into that, I just want to share a couple of statistics regarding this initiative with Walmart and USPAACC. I did gather some information from our team, and since the launch of this program on August 7th, we're proud to report that 50.8% of the sponsorship funding has already been utilized, demonstrating strong engagement from businesses. And even more impressively, 80% of the cases under review have successfully achieved certification through this initiative. And every approved case represents a business with the potential to, or that is already supplying to Walmart. And to ensure timely support for participants, all cases were processed within a timeline of 45 days. So if you're interested, as we mentioned before, make sure to send an email to Devin@USPAACC or Kevin@USPAACC, and I'll drop that information below too. And if everybody could turn on your cameras, we're going to just take a group picture really quick. All right. Give everybody a minute. Right. If everybody could turn on your cameras, we're about to take our photo. Here. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Take it again. 3, 2, 1. And just one more time to ensure for safety reasons. 3, 2, 1. All right. Go ahead, Ming.
But make sure everybody looks great on the picture, okay? All right, so the next part is our I know Greg wants to make this more conversational, so we will have a few questions to roll up the dice. But if you have any question, you can always leave it in the chat or raise your hand later after this a couple of questions. The first question, Greg, is for us to start with, are there any specific requirements or any particular criteria that Walmart is looking into so that we can meet the certification program?
Beyond just what we talked about in the TNC, one of the things that it's not really a hard and fast rule, but we kind of ask that you do meet minimum qualifications for at least our marketplace, which is our online, sales marketplace. And I think that takes around 100,000 in revenue per year. So we have kind of as a soft rule asked for that minimum qualification to be met. But I will say also, if you are a supplier that is onboarding or currently with Walmart, then, we would make an exception in that case as a current vendor to Walmart.
That is to say, I think Walmart is pretty generous to open the door to pretty much everybody who are either individual or corporation. They are eager to get into the supplier pool. And with that, the follow-up question will be, how can a small business, once they get certified, how can they maximize their partnership and their visibility into Walmart?
Yeah, and I would say, before or after certification, because that is voluntary. There's a few different ways that you can go about it, but I would say one of the ways is to get onto platforms like RangeMe, because that is an area where suppliers can be discovered not only by Walmart, but by multiple retailers. And a lot of the events that Walmart puts on is hosted by RangeMe, and they do have a free account. They have a paid subscription too, but we never ask anybody to do a paid subscription. But that is a platform where, let's say, our US Open Call is through RangeMe, and so when you are on that platform, you'll get notified of the different opportunities. And sometimes our merchants and our sourcing managers will launch an inquiry to see what suppliers are out there. I saw one other day out of our private label for, empanadas. And so just being visible so that when somebody is searching for you for the product that you have, they can find you on whether it's RangeMe or some of the other, websites that you can get on that they'll search for different suppliers for different products and services. It's probably the best way to get out there. And then I also encourage people, to use that supplier inclusion at walmart.com. They can connect with us directly, send a pitch deck, and then we can, as we're building our pipelines, that's one of the things that I failed to mention, that our role is really to advocate, discover, vet, as a sourcing manager for our merchants and buyers, to connect small and emerging businesses and brands and diverse-owned businesses with our merchants. So, just to be aware of what's out there so that we can do our homework and see if we think it's a good fit before we try to make an introduction.
Fantastic. That's actually very clear for us. And I think it's also very meaningful when asked to upload our profile. We need to make sure we are very comprehensive so that when the sourcing and procurement check on each of our information, they know what we're doing, what we're good at, so that you can match it automatically as well. And also, other than you, how can we connect with Walmart's team after getting certified?
Yeah, that's I think I answered two questions at once there, but the supplier
Right.
inclusion at walmart.com is the best way to connect with our team. And I will say that I'm over all of food and bev. There's another person that's over all of consumables and health and wellness, another person that is over general merchandise, hard lines, and apparel, and another person that is over GNFR, so goods not for resale, which is more like tech, services, store operations, things of that nature. So if you don't have retail ready products, we still have people on our team that connect with those procurement individuals to be able to figure out if there's a need as well, or if your product matches a need, or if there's an RFP coming, they can help, facilitate that connection.
Okay. And on the flip side, like, what does Walmart consider for diverse suppliers in supporting Walmart's supply chain diversity goals?
Yeah, and we say it all the time. Doug McMillan, our CEO, has said it, that we want our products and what is on our shelf to reflect the diversity that's in our communities, that's in our, the associates here at Walmart. We want our customers, when they walk in, to feel like that they have products that resonate with whatever they're looking for, whether that's within their, native community, or whether that's them wanting to try something from a different community, have local flavors. And, what diversity and inclusion brings to that is usually in, uniqueness and authenticity, usually very good ingredients that are of high quality and that can give our customers an experience that they may not be able to get otherwise. And so, we have stores of the community that we try to, cater to the different communities depending on, kind of what their different ethnic profiles look like when it comes to, if they're high in one area, then we want to make sure that we have a higher, products on the shelf to meet those customers where they are, as opposed to trying to go somewhere else to have to shop. So, we can all work together and kind of, make it a store that everybody's, happy to walk into, and hopefully they find everything they need in one place, as opposed to having to go to multiple places.
Right. It keeps it a very welcoming tone set up so that everybody is, as a supplier or as a customer, they feel jump right into the environment they feel very attached to.
Yes.
And my next question will be, what does Walmart will consider if a small business is ready for a bigger partnership? I think that's what most of the entrepreneurs and also the founders over there are wondering. How can they increase their sharehold?
Yeah, that question is a really tough one to answer, just because that has as many answers as I have buyers and merchants and categories that we support. So, it really is on a case-by-case basis of when you meet with a buyer, how do they feel about the product, how they feel about the company, how they feel about the future of the company, and how does that meet the needs for what their strategies and goals are. And so, what I would encourage people to do really is I kind of call them the 4 C's, but understand what costs are, in relation to what's already on the shelf to make sure you're competitive, and what your competition looks like, and how do you differ from your competition, as well as they're going to look at capacity and make sure just to see, because there's many different ways to get in the door. You don't have to have an X amount of capacity. Some buyers will work with you, only put you in, say, 100 stores to start with and see how that goes. So they may do test trials, or so definitely understanding where you play and how you meet the core customer at Walmart, and how you differ from the other ones on the shelf. And then definitely don't ever, if a buyer tries to put you in too many stores that exceeds your capacity, understand that, because you never want to overpromise and underdeliver, right? So it's one of those things where you would just say, be very buttoned up with your business. Understand the difference in the different retailers, because different retailers have different core customers and different strategies, and just understand how you play in those fields. And that's what buyers are looking for. How are you meeting our needs, and how are you meeting our customers' needs? And if you have a good grasp of that, then it's really open to what the buyer feels like is a good start. And you understanding that you have to be able to say what you're comfortable with and what you can perform with, and you can grow over time, and buyers will grow over time with suppliers as well. But that would be my advice.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think there's a cookie cutter answer for this one. And also, to Walmart's core value as well, I think ethics, integrity, those are very fundamental for any company, any business to do business with another company, and also to partner with the other company. I think to prove the comparative advantage of your products, your services is one thing, and also the integrity and also giving back to the community is what Walmart has been really focusing on as well. And to my next question is gonna be, how can we Walmart review or renew the certification process, and what does that process entail?
Yeah, we use a third-party company to manage all of our certified diverse-owned suppliers, and so what is loaded in there is what our finance uses to track spend and all of that, because they're considered validated, obviously, with the certification as a diverse-owned business. We review those numbers quarterly, but what I would say is anytime that, because everybody's going to have a different renewal date based off of when they were actually certified, that whenever a renewal comes up and you get a new certificate, that obviously you'd have to be a vendor at Walmart. If you're not, then we won't have a way of tracking anything. But we would ask those people to upload a new certificate either to our third-party website, or send it to us directly at that supplierinclusion@walmart.com, or to whoever your individual contact is, and then we can make sure that it gets uploaded to the third party.
Great. I think by now everybody should have notes for Walmart's supplier inclusion website, so that people know what information they're looking for. And it's quarterly that you guys are renewing the process as well. So my last question for you will be, does Walmart offering any training or any program that's for small business that's new to retail? If so, how can they get involved?
Yeah, there are different programs that are, under development right now, as well as there's some different, departments that offer training kind of on an ad hoc basis. And so, but I did share a document, which you guys are going to send out after this meeting, and it is a Walmart supplier reference guide. And that goes through step by step, how to register to be a supplier at Walmart, kind of a lot of the different minimum qualifications that it takes. So you kind of get an understanding of, I have to have X amount of insurance, or I have to have this or that to become one. And of course, probably shouldn't use insurance as an example, because that can vary based off of what your product is and which department you're in. But we have that also connects you to Supplier Academy, and that's something that has been around for a while, but it's also being redeveloped and relaunched. And so there's a lot of good training in there that can go, that speaks to a lot of the different areas, whether it's logistics, with planning, forecasting, for suppliers to kind of educate themselves so that they can see, what Walmart requires or what they should be prepared for when they get in. And I think those resources are going to be very critical to, especially small businesses coming into, whether they're new to Walmart or trying to be new to Walmart, or they're just trying to be new in the retail space. Because I think that not every retail organization is the same. There's going to be nuances and differences, but when you're in that retail market, there's going to be a lot of similarities too. So, especially when it comes to some of the basic criteria and the way logistics works and things of that nature. So it would be good regardless if you get into Walmart or not to kind of go through that and get that education.
Exactly. Yes, that's actually very excellent advice. And I think now we'll open our door to the Q&A session. Just in case anyone have any questions, you can feel free to raise your hand, and then I can call upon your name. And in case you don't have access to your microphone, you can always send a message. I can read it out so that Greg can be here and answer your questions. Okay, I do have one question over here. The first one is, what common mistake do new suppliers usually make? And how can we avoid these questions, these problems, to ensure a successful partnership with Walmart?
I would say, there's probably two things that come to the top of my mind. One is not being, for lack of a better way of saying it, not being prepared to go into a buyer's meeting. Knowing your business, knowing what maybe Walmart, nobody knows exactly what anybody's looking for and what the strategy is, but understanding the category that you're playing in and how you fit sometimes is not good. Or I'd give an example of, say, if you're trying to get into a big box retailer like Sam's Club, they have different criteria. So just being prepared to understand that, their units don't look like Walmart's units. If you ever go into, a Sam's Club, their units usually, they offer packaging. They want, to feed families of 4 to 6, I think that's 4 to 6 is right. But anyway, so understanding some of those little nuances, doing the homework on the front end so that you're prepared and understand, kind of how you're going to play into whichever area you're pitching your product in. And then too, again, it kind of comes to, I think a lot of people, they just want to get a deal and they'll say yes to anything. And that's a major mistake in most parts. So it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, to understand what are your limits and your capacity, what can you do, what can't you do, and then if they're asking you to do something you can't, have those frank discussions. Be okay with pushing back and saying, hey, I can't do 1,000 stores today. I can maybe do 500, but I can get there if you give me time. And because sometimes you only get one shot, and if you overcommit and underdeliver, it destroys kind of the reputation. It can destroy the brand, and it can destroy the confidence in that buyer, and they may not come back. If it doesn't go well the first time, you may not get a second one. So those would be two things I would say.
Yeah, those are actually very fundamental ideas. Like we need to be prepared, not only for Walmart, for any of our customers. We are the party who knows our products, our services the best. So in order to pitch anybody, we need to introduce thoroughly what we can do so that people can find opportunities to do it together. And the other thing is we don't want people to overpromise anything that they can do. Because if you tell up in the front, it's easier for people to like cooperate together. But if you are just giving a straight yes, but then fail out afterwards, that's going to be a lot of work to do for not only the vendor itself, for other customers as well. So I can totally relate for that question.
And I would say too, sorry, just to expound on that a little bit more, there's probably two components to every pitch when it goes in there. One is the passion. Everybody, especially entrepreneurs, they've invested everything into what they're building, their brand, their company, and all of that. And so they have a very passionate story, and and how they got into it and why and what they're trying to accomplish. And that is great. Your story is great. And if you're supporting any type of, some people are supporting different charities, like, 10% of profits go to support this or that. Those are all great. And those are stories that resonate with our consumers and resonates with buyers. But don't forget about the business side of it too. Like, that's where you can't all be about just the passion and trying to think everybody's just going to jump on board because it's a great program that you're
Right.
trying to support. But you also need to understand the financials and the metrics and the logistics side of the business as well. So.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for that. And we do have another question from our attendees today. The question from Chuck is, how can we support Walmart's staffing needs in IT area? How does Walmart processing their staffing needs in IT?
Yeah, it's getting a little too specific for
Right.
I think this conversation. So I won't go into that today. I would just say, that supplier inclusion at walmart.com, you can email that question, and the person that handles the GNFR side of the house, they can kind of answer that a little bit more specifically and send that pitch deck in so that they understand, whoever's asking that question, kind of what the capabilities are, your capability statement, and then just see, how you go from there.
Right. I guess once we got certified, we got into the supplier program, we knock on the door first, and then we have the department, who is the sourcing department, will come to you to talk into the details and what are the specific requirements from there.
Yeah.
And the next question, we have people raising hands. Let me see. Did they put down their hands already?
Raza's hand is raised. So
Okay. Yes, please.
I don't mind, but I think there was another gentleman, Mega. I think his hand was raised first. So if you want Mega, it would only be fair.
That's okay, Raza. Go ahead. I'll follow you.
Okay, so my name is Raza. I'm with Visual City, and I just have a quick question for Greg. Greg, we were lucky enough to be invited to the supplier diversity event for Walmart. This was last year. Was it last year? Yeah, I think it was last year. And my question to you is, how can one find out if we are actually in your system? Number one. Number two, as far as when you're saying that, pertaining to supplier certification support program, can you expand on that? What does that mean? In other words, we are already USPAACC members and other sister companies as well. So in other words, basically, we are a minority-owned firm and all that. We have, I had mentioned at that particular juncture when I was there in Bentonville, and we never kind of received any information or any inquiries or anything. So how do we move the needle? I was at the conference as well not too long ago, at the NMSDC conference where Walmart had a booth. I've met many folks at USPAACC conferences and so forth. How does one kind of move the needle? I've already discussed and sent a whole bunch of basically what we do and what we have to offer. So I don't want to take too much time. If you could tell me in a nutshell, first and foremost, are we in the system? Secondly, if we're in the system, how can we participate?
Yeah, so two-part question there. So as far as the certification goes, I don't know, to be a USPAACC member if you have to be a certified business through them or not, but to be in our system, in our third-party system, you'd have to be a vendor of Walmart, and then we do require that it is a certified diverse-owned business through one of the national agencies, local or state agencies. And there's a couple other things like SBA or things like that we may be opening up as well. So we will accept those, but we don't accept self-certification. There's some other things out there like Supplier Gateway that we don't accept, because that's kind of basically a self-certification. So we do require that a third party goes in and validates that you meet all the criteria for whichever diverse designation that you're applying for, and that you get certified through that third party before we will put you into our third party monitoring system. Secondly, the other one is, yeah, that's a common question. And there's hundreds, if not thousands of suppliers trying to get in the door. And so what I just keep telling people is just keep knocking on that door, keep sending your information in. You know, can't speak to your needs specifically right now, but I would say if there's not a need and a fit at the time, then there's probably not going to be a lot of progress made. But that doesn't mean that there will never be either. But it's also hard to go back in time and pull every data resource you have out. So I would say keep knocking on those doors, keep, you know, send us your information through that supplier inclusion. We have had some turnover in our area. So we have a new GNFR person, we have a new GM person that's going to be coming on board. And so they will take the ball and run with it. And so maybe the last person at that time didn't have a need and didn't have a fit, but maybe this year, next year, you know, that will change and the new person can pick that up and run with it.
Thank you,
Okay,
Greg.
thank you very much. Ming, if you don't mind, you and the USPAACC team, if you could kindly share Greg's information so that we could pass our information to them. This way we can get the ball rolling. And then you could probably direct us as to what would be the next steps.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
Of course. And next we go to Maha.
Hey, thank you so much, Meg. Appreciate the event and great information. My name is Maga Rivan. I'm one of the founding partners at Intellimetrics. We are an Atlanta, Georgia-based data analytics and data science consulting services company. While we are certified by some of these large certification agencies, and so are we with U.S. Small Business Administration because we support over 9 federal agencies, we have seen better success working with retail companies like Dollar General, with UTZ Snacks, and quite a few others, because we do a lot of demand forecasting analytics, customer churn analytics, very, very focused that can, you know, have revenue lift or profitability lift for large companies. So my question is, has Walmart thought about actually bringing in diverse suppliers who have extremely specific quals and have our separate supply chain for engaging with these suppliers like us who are not, we come under broad IT, but we are not IT, so we specifically focus on data analytics. So I just thought I'll share that question with you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't know the answer to that. It's kind of outside of my area of expertise, but I kind of go back to the same answer as the last guy. Is just continue to reach out to us, share through our supplier inclusion at walmart.com, your capability statement. And again, the person that handles that, if there is a need and a fit, then she will pick it up and respond and take it from there. The new person just started in October, so she is still kind of getting her feet under her. And then we're all kind of in the end of the year right now, and you know, we're building our strategy for next year, meeting with different merchants and buyers for next year. So you know, again, we're kind of laying the groundwork for what next year looks like for us right now. But again, happy to have you send that to our inbox there, and then the right person will pick it up. And yeah, hard for me to say what's going on in that world because I just don't live in it. So.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, it is very important for us to keep on sharpening our pencils, and it is difficult. And but having Greg here today already means like the Fortune 500 companies opening doors to founders, to entrepreneurs, so that we can keep on trying, keep on to do our homework, so that we can move the needle eventually. And the next question is from the chat. Does Walmart offer any resources or any training program to help smaller suppliers improve the compliance with Walmart's standards and their policy and your policies?
So is that, I don't know if we can, would that be for existing?
I think it's
vendors or-
more into the compliance for the standard and to elaborate on Walmart's standard and policies in terms of compliance, I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so I'm probably just going to go back to that supplier reference guide that's going to go out later because it's a PDF that is several pages long and it goes into a lot of different criteria when it comes to different compliance issues of the different fields that it takes to get in there. And then again, that connects you to that Supplier Academy, which has a lot of different training modules in there, and then you can kind of go in and pick the ones that you specifically are interested in or are curious about.
Okay. Yeah, make sure everybody share the email with USPAACC so that everybody have a clear roadmap on how to be a Walmart's supplier. And the next question will be, how do we know which type of the product is in demand of Walmart? Now we're trying to get some inside information right now.
Yeah, that's, that kind of goes back to it being such a large company that,
Right.
every different buyer that I work with, I can't always know what every one of them is thinking and what they're doing. And so, the best thing that I can do is to kind of vet and understand the product and the company and see if I think it might be a good fit and then try to make that connection. And then just see if that buyer, if that's something they're working for. But there's no really public domain that you can go to and say, oh, Walmart's looking for X or Y. A lot of times we don't even know unless you're in those meetings with those buyers and those leaders, you're not understanding exactly where they're headed either. So that's a challenge, especially for outsiders. It's a challenge for insiders. So yeah, it's more of a challenge for outsiders, and I don't have a great answer for that.
Right. It's definitely Turkey next week.
Right? Yeah, they've been in that planning for a little while.
Right. And our last question from our attendees is, are there any particular qualities or any kind of practices that Walmart values in small business partners? Like what you consider the most?
I think what we call a white space, like there's something that we don't have on the shelf, that other, and so does your product meet or offer something that isn't already there? I think buyers are always looking for innovation. They're always looking for the next hot thing coming down the line and what's trending with consumers. So just having your pulse on what's hot in the U.S. consumer dynamics, and does your product play in that? That's probably something a buyer is going to be looking for if it's not already on the shelf. Regeneration is huge as far as making sure that you're sustainable and your packaging is sustainable, your product is, that's a huge movement. So I would say those things are very hot button topics in Walmart.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for sharing those. And before we conclude, Greg, do you have any last remarks or any last word to share with our attendees today?
Nothing I can think of off the top of my head. There's a lot of great questions. I think we've covered, a lot of different things. I can't think of anything else to add, but I really do appreciate everybody attending and listening and giving me this opportunity to represent Walmart and talk about this program.
Yeah, thank you everyone for giving us all these wonderful questions. And also thank you for joining us for our exclusive live talk of USPAACC, particularly partnering with Walmart Senior Manager Greg. And as a reminder, if you are interested in becoming certified for a free program as USPAACC and Walmart's partnership, you can send an email to either Kevin or Devin. And don't forget about the celebration in June. Everybody is excited for the 40-year anniversary. And also, we will have a short survey after this. So please let USPAACC team member know how we can improve and how can we bring more program that serve you the best. Thank you so much. And the link is in the chat. Have a wonderful day and see you next month.